Thank you so much. Thank you so much for going down memory lane. Let me take you back and tell you a story about SeaWorld / Geauga Lake. SeaWorld in Geauga Lake. Of course, SeaWorld now is in San Diego, over in California, and I'm in Orlando, around the Florida area. But it used to be in Ohio, in Aurora, Ohio, back in the day. I can remember going to SeaWorld as a kid. And like I said, SeaWorld basically, you know what SeaWorld is basically about. But up there they had the Seal and Otter show, Shamu and the dolphins and whatnot. They had the Seal and Otter show, which was the Clyde and Seymour show, and it was basically a show of comedy, kind of funny. You got guys walking along, and Seymour and them, Clyde would come up and bump them in the back and knock them in the water, or basically do something, whatever. They had a lot of adaptions and stuff like that, in a comedy sense. And I used to love going there as a kid to SeaWorld and have an awesome time as a kid. All kids enjoy SeaWorld. Like I said, that was in Aurora, Ohio back in the day. And like I said, SeaWorld, if you will, closed down. I believe it was in late 2000 and going into 2001. And SeaWorld and Geauga Lake merged together as Six Flags. Now Six Flags will bring in, Superman, the Batman rides, and the villains, and all these goofy coasters that they brought in for Six Flags. Now going to the Geauga Lake part of it, before we go back to my opinion of the whole Six Flags merger and stuff, basically what happened was, when you would look at SeaWorld, and you would look across the lake, if you will, there, or whatever it was there at SeaWorld, you would see the rides at Geauga Lake. Now, you would really get a view of them if you would go to the water skiing stadium there at SeaWorld, and you would see the whole entire concept of what was it about over there at Geauga Lake. I can remember as a kid going to SeaWorld and thinking, man, I want to go over there someday. Well, I got my opportunity to go over there several times. My cousins Sean and John Huffman and John Swisher, Swishman, of course, and my cousin Junior and Sally Swisher, my Uncle George and my Aunt Betty, their mom and dad, my Aunt Patty, a whole host of other members of my family would go up there to Geauga Lake, and we rode the rides up there, the double loop, the corkscrew. Of course, the corkscrew is over at Cedar Point in Sandusky, Ohio, as well. In the Playlist Archives and the DeVaults Memory Lane videos about Cedar Point, take a look at them. Some interesting things going on over there about Cedar Point. But anyway, they have the corkscrew, the double loop. They have a lot of other good coasters over there. Your little regular rides, if you will. The Big Dipper. I'll tell you a story about the Big Dipper in a second, but telling you that I used to love the water park, the water rides over there as well. They had the log rides, the mill race, I believe, was one of them. Maybe that's it. The logging rides. And used to love the wave pool. You get in there, you wait around the wave pool, and I think it was like every 3 to 5 minutes. Are you ready for my wave? And the wave would come out and crest the pool and whatnot. And me and my cousin Sean used to like to try to ride the wave without one of those rafts or whatever. We used to do like a Karate Kid type kicks, and used to try to kick people in the face and stuff like that, because that's just how we were. We were mean. But anyway, we used to love riding the logging rides, love the wave pool, and love the little twisty slides. The Stingray slides, though, I was really kind of afraid to go down the Stingray slides. I mean, folks, these things were like straight down. Some of them had little hills and whatnot on them. I was kind of afraid to go down the Stingray slides. As a matter of fact, I don't think I ever went down the Stingray slides to my recollection. So I don't know whether or not I did or not. But we ride the Big Dipper, and everybody usually rode with one another. If I rode with Sally one ride, or she rode with Sean, or I ride with Junior. Which, of course, if you rode with Junior's 6'6", about 300 pounds back then. He used to have to ride in the front seat of any coaster, regardless of where you were, Cedar Point, Geauga Lake, in this sense here, or wherever it was. You used to have to ride in the front seat with Junior, because it was a little bit easier, and it was more leg room for juniors, so you had to sit in the front seat so you could see everything coming at you from right off the bat. And we used to, like I said, we used to ride the rides, with alternate with one another. Well, this particular time, Sally had went with my Aunt Patty, I believe it was, and maybe it was my Aunt Betty. I'm not quite sure, her mother. But anyway, I had to ride by myself. Everybody was with one another or with somebody, and I had to ride by myself. Excuse me, I apologize for that. But anyway, nonetheless, I'm riding, and we're coming down the first hill of the Big Dipper. And any hill you're going down in any roller coaster, in my book, the first hill is always a doozy. So we're going down that first hill, and I'm sitting there looking, and I'm looking back at Sally or something, or making funny things, and doing things, stuff. She's cracking up, and I turn the corner as we're going down the hill, and I bang my head right in front of me, right there on the freaking car itself, there, the part of the coaster, and I had a black and blue mark right here. I can remember that. Oh man, it was bad. I had a black and blue mark, and I was lightheaded the whole time after that. And then, of course, we go into the rotor. Now the rotor is a ride that's like the Gravitron, Starship Exodus, Starship 2000, whatever they call these things today. But it is a rotor, basically like the Gravitron, except for when you got into the rotor, you went up on top, and then you went down around on the winding stairs, and then went into the rotor, which basically, like I said, is a smaller version of the Gravitron, except for you can look down on it, and it's not enclosed. Well, I got on there, and like I said, I'm lightheaded and everything, and I got pretty lightheaded and had to get off and everything. So I got up to the top and watched Swishman and Sally, and I don't know if Junior was there, but I think my cousin Sean was there. Well, I'm watching them go around, and I'm going, I'll get you, acting like Freddy Krueger and stuff, and my cousin Sally just ate that up. I always could say that when it comes to my cousin Sally and my cousin Junior and my cousin John and Swishman back in the day, they used to be appreciative and used to love me when I did my impressions, and used to be there for me when I was writing stories or just doing things in general like that. They were always there with feedback, and they were always there to listen and laugh, and they were my biggest fans back then. But anyway, nonetheless, Sally ate that up. And that's one of the things that when talking to Sally various times in my yearly trips to my hometown of Massillon, Ohio, that's one of the things that Sally really, really wants to address about it, is when we talk about the memories and stuff, is she loves the fact that I did that Freddy there on the rotor up at Geauga Lake. But like I said, good times, man. I always had good times there at Geauga Lake when we went to visit and went to ride rides and whatnot. I do got to say, though, when the merger for Six Flags came, they basically, like I said, they brought in the Batman rides and the Superman rides and all these other rides and stuff that they brought in, the villain roller coasters or whatever they brought into this Six Flags things. They brought in some rides for the kids, which was Roadrunner or whatever it was, a low roller coaster called Roadrunner or whatever. And then, of course, SeaWorld, they still had the Shamu show, or they actually, I think they only had a dolphin show. They still had their penguin encounter, which I failed to mention earlier. But like I said, they had a lot of things over at SeaWorld I really loved when I was young, and they still had a Clyde and Seymour show and stuff like that. But I think the whole Six Flags merger and everything, and after Six Flags, it basically jumped down and took that out. They took out the whole thing there, and Geauga Lake could resurface a little bit. Then they put it into a water park. They did all kinds of other different variations and goofy stuff in my book. They took away the tradition that was both SeaWorld and Geauga Lake. When SeaWorld went out and they put the Six Flags in and they mixed it all together, in my book it was a very bad mistake, because it took away the tradition of two different parks side by side with one another, SeaWorld and Geauga Lake. I used to love doing it as a kid. I used to love going to SeaWorld. I used to love going to Geauga Lake. I hated the merger that was Six Flags. I'm sorry for anybody who loved the Six Flags merger. I hated it. It took away the tradition. When they added the Mind Eraser, which was another great roller coaster that I had an opportunity to ride when it was at Six Flags. And I didn't have an opportunity to ride because it was fairly new, and I didn't go to Geauga Lake that year. But anyway, nonetheless, the merger with Six Flags. I'm sorry for those of you who liked that Six Flags merger there in Ohio. I did not. I thought it was a slap to the face of the tradition that Geauga Lake had carried for all the years that it carried. When they took out SeaWorld, I thought that was another slap to the face to actually do all that. That's just my opinion. But I love to tell you, I really, really love to tell you that it was an awesome experience to be able to go to Geauga Lake, SeaWorld when I was young. And there's nothing like that. Nothing like that at all. Thank you so much for going down memory lane with me. I'll catch you next time.